Welcome to Boy Time Podcast. We're gonna get litty time, yeah. Oh, it's your Boy Time Podcast. Coming in with the slam dunk of a theme song.
Hi ho ho, it's me, Matt Reeves, back at it again with a new episode of the Boy Time Podcast. As always, I'm joined by Babby and Paul.
Yo.
We actually have a 3-pointer shot episode for you today. Not quite a slam dunk,
does it
but
mean?
still impressive.
Oh.
And worth more
First
points.
time you've ever said that.
Yeah. All I'm saying is it's a slower week. We had, the PlayStation thing. We had a whole lot of music stuff last week, so we're kind of slowing down. We did have some, Montero dropped. We dropped the reaction video to that on the Boytime channel today, as of us recording it. But I assume there's other music things. I don't have any, but, there's probably some other stuff. And everything else that I have is kind of, just like little things. I just have like 4 little things to talk about. No big
Spill 'em.
updates. I will not.
Oh,
We'll
okay.
save that for do news roundup.
Oh.
But first,
I hope there's a who asked for this section. It's my favorite segment.
it is one of mine too, but I haven't
Let's
found
go.
any. It's
I know,
not-
I never
it's-
ask for that.
Yeah. Before we get into what I have to say, I believe Paul has some updates for us on life.
Well, before we do that, does Babby have anything?
I have a lot of stuff, but I don't go first.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I was gonna say, because I have few, but
I have
probably
topics. I don't talk
possibly-
about myself.
Okay, you got topics. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll talk about the one that if we probably talk about less of length, but so you guys know I've been on quite the job hunt, and not like my career job hunt, but like a job they get for now kind of job hunt
Yes.
for like 3 weeks or something at this point.
I think a little bit longer than that. You've been talking
Maybe
about
a
this
month.
for a while.
I don't know. Yeah, it's been a
Yeah,
while.
it probably feels like a year, but
I mean, I didn't really start looking for for my career software engineer job. I've been looking for over 3/4 of a year. Yeah, but as of just wanted to get a probably temp job, hopefully temp job. That was a month ago or something I started. But
Yeah.
after going through plenty more, I think I remember them all, but I don't really need to list them all here. There were a lot. There were like 10, 12, something.
Yeah.
But I finally got one, and I want you guys to go ahead and do a funny guess.
Jimmy John's.
Oh, I ain't touching that.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
frick. AT&T.
Why would I get a job at 18?
I don't know. I was just guessing.
I'll give you both one more guess. It's a funny one.
What's a funny one? Twin Peaks.
It's a
Chuck E.
funny
Cheese.
Wait.
Twin Peaks.
That's not what I meant. What's that one? There's the lumberyard.
Lumberyard, brother.
Oh.
Not that
No.
funny.
I mean, it's close. Come and
GameStop.
go.
Oh,
Let's go.
Come and go. The funniest
Yes.
gas
Go.
station.
Yes, the funny come and go gas station. I applied for there. I was like, okay, I've gotten to the point where it's 12 an hour. I don't care anymore. I just want to get one. Gas station shouldn't be too hard.
No.
And so I go in. It was a nice interview. I talked to the person in the back. She just asked some normal questions. Believe it or not, she didn't ask, what was one time that you really made someone's day? She just tried to get to know me and stuff. Oh, what's your favorite thing to do in the pastime and stuff.
What's your favorite come and go branded product?
Yeah.
They got good
No,
donuts.
not none of that.
Gas.
But
Gas.
yeah. Nah, man, you go to Quick Start for that. That's 30 cents cheaper.
Whoa. Do not bring that up in the interview.
Oh, I didn't. But after that, she was like, "All right, well, I think I can hire you on the spot." And I'm like, "Okay,
Oh,
this is a change."
yeah.
And I even mentioned like I knew it was like okay, so from what I'm looking at with like Indeed, Glass, or all these job review sites, they pay like 12 an hour. But I want. I know there's people that say, "Oh, try and squeeze a little bit more." And so I was like, "Well," so I tell her after she asks, "What pay are you looking for?" I'm like, "Okay, so there are places like I've been looking for a job. A lot of places are paying like 15 an hour now where I live. I know there's some paying less, but I'd want to at least get 14 an hour if possible." And she's like, "Yeah, I think I can do that." And then so Mr. Negotiator here got 14 an hour.
Yo,
Let's go.
that's pretty good.
So yeah,
So that's
I
exciting.
no clue when I'm starting because I need to do a background check, and that takes 2 to 4 business days according to Google. And I did it like Thursday night, so could be a couple more days before I know when I'm starting. But
True, and that won't happen over the weekend.
yeah,
Nope.
because business days, aka not weekends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's exciting.
But yeah, it'll be interesting because unlike a Jimmy John's where they throw you in, apparently they take you to a store where the employees are trained to train new employees for a couple weeks, and then they put you to the place where you hired, which is gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I've
Because
never
it's a
done
much
training.
busier location than the one I applied to, which I applied to because it was a bit of a less busy location.
Oh,
So
yeah, I've never done
but,
like training like that before. I've
yeah,
every job I've ever worked, they're
actual
just like,
training,
just go in and you'll learn it. It's like, okay, thanks.
actual training,
Yeah,
crazy.
that'll be good. So you'll
But
you'll have
yeah.
to like fill us in on your hours if that'll affect
Mm.
podcast
Well,
recording, I
oh,
guess.
okay. So here's something. So, technically, I am. Well, I literally am hired part time, but I can get as many hours as I want. I'm pretty sure they capped me off at like 40, but I
Yeah.
kind of want to get up to 40 if I can. So I don't know if I'm gonna like say, "Hey, I want to get 40," and they'll give me like a set schedule, or if I just literally like work when I work, just tell them ahead of time. It sounds like they have some schedule, but it's only for full time, so I don't know how it's gonna work.
Okay.
But I'll try to avoid weekends, maybe. I don't know. It's
Oh,
not actually.
true.
I remember them saying they'll like put you in a time slot where they'll need you for part time. So
Yeah.
For
I
part
don't
time,
know.
it's when the full time people don't want to work usually, so there might be a little bit
Yeah.
of a gap. But
Yeah,
Which,
well,
you
if
like
it's
working later at night, don't you?
yeah, well, from their hours, which are like, I don't know, it's like 6 in the morning to like 10 at night or something.
mhm.
I have a good feeling it's probably the full time would prefer the evening because it's the least busy. I think they get busy around like 11 and noon.
Yeah, morning
And
commute
morning
people.
shift, you have to get up at like 5 and get there at 6 or something.
Yeah, I know
So,
some, like when I worked at a gas station, like some of the full time people liked working in the mornings because
mhm.
you're done by like
And they have the whole
noon.
day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you get like the whole evening. But no,
It was always nice.
I would have been like that like 2 years ago, but not anymore when I struggle to wake up before 9.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know.
Well, just see what your schedule is.
We'll
They'll
see.
probably work with you.
I should know by like Monday or Tuesday.
Everybody's desperate for work right now, so.
Well, apparently they hired 3 people a week before me, so I don't,
Oh, okay, maybe not. Okay.
yeah.
Well, that's good. And I think you said you had one other thing.
I did indeed, and this is a so again I bring up like I've kind of had a kind of recent change in heart of where I really want to be a software engineer. And so I found what is probably, or at least currently, my plan B, and that is a truck driver.
Okay.
And just this past Thursday, I got my commercial learner's permit, which allows me to basically drive a truck if there's like a mentor. It's like a learner's permit for driving, but it also allows you to attend the license schools.
Oh, okay.
And so I got my first step there, but I don't want to start driving in the winter, so I'm gonna wait until spring. And so I'm still going for a come and go job.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
I think you can go to college for that too.
Yeah,
For, like,
DMAC
official
DMAC has
classes.
a 6 week thing,
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
and they start it like literally every 3 weeks, so I won't have any trouble getting into it.
So I think it's more of a certificate than it is a degree.
Yeah. Well, you don't even get like a certificate or anything. It's just like it's
Oh,
your
it's just-
driver's license for trucking. That's literally what it is. And then you can get side endorsements for like hazmat, like passenger driving, stuff like that.
I
But
always
yeah,
thought that
like
could be fun. Driving,
Oh,
just
yeah.
seeing
I've
the
been-
country.
yeah, I mean, believe it or not, my first interest in trucking came out with like European Truck Sim 2. When I used to play that, I was like, man, it's cool just being able to like drive around a bunch of countries. And while I'd love but probably never would want to drive around in Europe because it'd be so cool, yet probably so like different from America, I probably wouldn't get used to it. And there's so many more like restrictions and stuff.
And the
And-
roads are older.
It
They're around,
depends
like,
on
cities.
country.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Depends on country, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's where it started. Recently, like I think like 3 months ago, I started watching like actual like videos from like truckers and stuff, and like it looks like honestly a pretty cool job. Like even like company trucks you get, like they look pretty cool. Like it's something that I wouldn't mind living in. Which, if you're an over road trucker, you would have to live in
Pretty
for
sick,
sure for
though.
months on end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was looking for more regional, which would be like a week gone, a week home,
Mm.
in like the Midwest, or local, which would be local.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
That would be fun. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Just watch out, because Elon Musk is gonna make a robot truck man.
It replace all the
Oh, don't
trucks.
worry.
Yeah.
Even if so, apparently that's actually like in my like looking up of stuff. Like that's actually a lot of stuff that people have done like looking at, and there's people that made videos on it, and like with how many times
There won't ever be
the
like losing a human element in trucking.
yeah,
It's-
like how with the self-driving cars, like you should still be there, like, and not
Yeah,
only
yeah.
that, but the Tesla semi truck, it's apparently it was delayed for like 3 years or something, and it's just now like starting to have their orders out. So it's like,
If it took
It's-
forever to get the regular Teslas to self-drive, trucking is a
Yeah.
completely different animal.
Yeah.
well, to be fair, trucks you just have to. Okay, so apparently what the thing they want to do with it is, which actually would make truckers' life a lot easier. Self-driving would only be for the interstates, but local like roads driving, that would be human. Which
Yeah.
interstate driving, that's a lot easier to like automate
Yeah.
because you're just trying to not go into a lane someone's in and hit them,
Sure.
pretty much.
You just take up a
Good.
lot more area, but
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
trucks don't pass. So
No.
Yeah,
you chill.
yeah.
Unless it's
You
another
get
truck.
funny radio.
Yeah, you could listen to Alex Jones on the satellite radio.
Heck
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
And
the
then
only
talk
place
to
you
other
can
truck
listen to him.
drivers about Alex Jones.
What's gonna be your call sign on the trucker radio?
I
very important.
probably wouldn't have one.
You should be
Apparently,
Zimbiddy.
CB radio
Dingus.
sadly has basically disappeared, except for you can have one, and people tell you ahead of time, hey, there's like a clog up here of like traffic. But otherwise, it's sadly turned into just a bunch of like conspiracy theorists and people just yelling at each other. So that's why a lot of people don't get them anymore.
Yeah. If you get stuck in a truck that long, the Alex Jones
Mm.
radio is readily available.
Dang it.
Just listen to Alex Jones instead of nearby truckers yelling at each other.
Well, it would be kind of fun if you just get a CV radio, then just like treat it like a COD lobby, and then just like just trying to make people angry on the road.
Hey guys, no Russian.
Well, yeah, I think that's good.
But yeah, and believe it or not, apparently trucking like 20 years ago, this wasn't the case, but it is like one of the most profitable jobs because,
Yeah, it pays well.
I
Mhm.
mean, if you're gonna be out like 2 weeks at a time to be getting this much money, but you can easily make 100K after your first year. Like,
Yeah.
it is insane.
Yeah, I've heard it's pretty good. I
And
have,
even entry, like 60K, is pretty easy to get. I
Mhm.
mean, not your like first 2 months because you're gonna be getting a lot less. Like most jobs are actually paid by the mile, so it depends how much you drive. But yeah,
Well, that's exciting.
oh yeah.
So, to stay tuned for Paul updates, where maybe he's on the road calling in from the CV radio.
That probably wouldn't
The
be
audio quality
until
was so
like
garbage.
June.
But it would be so epic. It would be a nice twist on the
Stay
format.
tuned for next June when maybe I'm finishing up the actual license.
And then you
Oh,
call in
probably
over
be
CV
sooner than
radio.
I don't know if you. I mean, can you do that?
I'll just hold my CV radio receiver
Yeah.
up to my microphone.
Sadly, I don't think CB radios are very cheap.
Well, you can buy me one. You're apparently rich now.
Oh no. Oh yeah, another cool thing I found about it, but after getting a email from DMAC because I gave like a thing of interest, they gave me an email, and apparently there's like some, I forgot what they call it, but there's like a special grant that a lot of the students do that basically just gets you in for free. It just pays for everything. I'm gonna look into that. Hope that I can get it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you should do that.
Oh yeah. And hey, if trucking doesn't work out, I've shadowed my dad at the furniture store twice in the past 3 weeks, so I got a plan C.
Oh, there you go. You could code in a security system and then have it be an epic
Not-
thing.
furniture.
Yeah. What you could make
I
a
don't-
smart couch.
Oh, don't worry, we got smart couches already. There's ones where like they have LED cup holders.
Dude, I need the LED cup holder.
I actually have one of those couches.
How am I gonna see where my Sprite is? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
It's time for do news roundup.
Oh boy.
Oh, I was hoping for the Who Cares news roundup time.
Unfortunately, I don't have any who asked for this news this week.
Who asked you?
I know. I'm
Who
always
asked if you had any?
Babby did.
Oh,
I love that segment so much.
I do too. I just hardly ever happens. I guess the Matrix trailer was released, but a lot of people care about that.
yeah, who cares?
Okay, I don't really care because the last two movies were an absolute dumpster fire. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't. That's not
Oh,
really
this
a hot
guy.
take, but what?
It is the hottest take where I live,
You know,
probably.
yeah, yeah. Watch Matrix Resurrections and then tell me if you disagree. Speaking of resurrections, the Buzz Lightyear movie trailer will supposedly drop in
Okay,
November.
I'm sorry.
Close.
Dude, I love that.
I don't think we know very much about this project. We just know that I believe Chris Evans is going to be playing Buzz Lightyear instead of Tim Allen. So a little bit of a weird choice. I believe this is like not the toy Buzz Lightyear. I think this is like the character that the like action figure is supposed to be portraying in the Toy Story movie.
So a live action.
No, but it's still being made by Pixar.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it's like this weird kind of combination of things. I think that's their next one to drop after, I think it's Turning Red is the one that's going to be dropping this winter. Where the angsty teenager, whenever she feels anxious, she turns into a giant red panda.
That's me.
And that one's made from the person who did the short in front of Incredibles 2, the one where the mom makes a dumpling boy. Do you remember this?
I
I do.
remember.
Okay, yeah. That's who's making this
That
Turning
one
Red.
looked pretty promising.
I liked that one. I saw the trailer for Turning Red, and I didn't see like I didn't see a whole lot of potential for like a lot of heart, which is what I really like out of Pixar stuff. It just seemed like it might like the trailer made
Usually
it
it just
seem,
blindsides you, though.
yeah, that's true. I didn't expect Onward too, and Onward
Yeah.
had a really heavy moment in the end, and even Luca, which I know I don't think we didn't see it, but I watched it.
Tried to.
Right. Yeah, it was not in theaters. Yeah, that one was pretty good too. I don't know if it I don't think it beats Soul, or it might beat Onward, but it's like right in between there. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. I think Buzz Lightyear, if I was to guess, that's going to be the summer one of 2022. That seems to be a pretty safe spot for that. And then I'm not sure if we know what's coming after that. I think that Disney D23, I think that's coming up. It's usually, I think, at winter time. But don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. But, you know, some inside sources have said that the trailer for that Buzz Lightyear movie is going to be dropping in November. So there's that.
Actual insiders.
I mean, you know, take it with a grain of salt because, you know, that may or may not be true. But I have been seeing some, like, reputable sources, like, tweet about it. So I thought I'd bring it up. And then we got another trailer confirmation, which I'm not really super excited about. Like,
announcement.
I'm so excited to be announced something that we already know is coming. But Matt Reeves, who is the director of The Batman Among Us, he was also the director of, I believe, the last two in the Planet of the Apes trilogy, the new one that is, which were pretty good. So he confirmed that there's going to be a new trailer coming to DC Fandom in October. I'm pretty sure this was all but confirmed when I dropped the DC Fandom news. I think that was a couple weeks ago. But it's nice to get an official confirmation. He's also been tweeting a lot today, because today is Batman Day, which I believe, well, yeah, we're recording this on Batman Day, which is the third Saturday in September. So he I don't know. I don't know. This is the first time I've ever heard of it, but it's probably something. There's a reason out there, probably.
I got
marketing
Google open, so.
scheme.
It was the
Give us
first.
the needs.
I don't
Yeah,
know
I
why
get-
it's
I
the
get it.
third Saturday. Like, that doesn't, not a date.
Alright, boys, I got it.
Okay.
Batman Day is an annual event organized by DC Entertainment to celebrate and promote Batman. The first Batman Day was July 23rd, 2014. This was the year of the 75th anniversary of the first appearance of Batman in 1939.
Okay, so it's as stupid as I thought it was.
Yeah.
The day was chosen to coincide with San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh, and then Comic-Con didn't happen, so
Oh, so
they
just
probably,
dumb.
yeah, they just made it arbitrary. Okay.
Okay.
That makes sense. So today's Batman Day, and
Heck
Matt
yeah.
Reeves has been dropping some production things, which is pretty cool to see. Some behind-the-scenes stuff. He posted a picture of himself in the editing bay, which I didn't know he was editing this movie, but it was like a frame of him, like, I don't know. He has like a really complicated setup. I know it's for the Batman, so I should have anticipated like some serious studio stuff, but there was like 3 big like tablets and then like another monitor and then a big TV on the other side of the room that was screening everything. I was like, okay, that might be a little bit overboard, but I'm sure he's kind of a control freak when it comes to that kind of stuff, so not too much of a surprise. And then the guy who's composing the score, Michael I'm gonna butcher this. I think it's Giacchino, Italian man, I believe. Posted a snippet of the orchestra recording the live score, which sounds pretty cool. It's nice to see the orchestra being used right, because Lord knows that Zack Snyder absolutely fumbles the score.
Everything.
Well, yeah, but music is not really his strong suit. I don't know who exactly does the score for his movies, but not good. So nice to see that return to form in good composition. But that was all the Batman. Well, that's not all the Batman news, actually. There was another bit of Batman news, but it's not a movie news. It's for a spin-off television show.
Oh, yeah.
You know it's good when before a movie comes out, the studio already has a spin-off show planned?
Oh, for sure. It's just an algorithm at this point.
Yeah. So that was why, like, when like Disney did that with like The Last Jedi, and they gave Rian Johnson a Star Wars trilogy before The Last Jedi came out, and they were like, we're just so proud of this movie, and then it came out, and then Star Wars fans hated it, and then they were like, actually, we don't know if Rian Johnson is going to be making a Star Wars trilogy. It's like, that's fine, just let him do Knives Out forever. So I think that's probably what's happening. But they announced that a spin-off show based on the Batman, with the spin-off, I don't know exactly like the details. I don't think they really dropped anything. They just announced that it's being like in development. But it's going to be based on the Penguin. So I didn't know that the Penguin was even in the Batman. Now we know that he is, in the form of a spin-off show for HBO Max. So that's exciting, I guess. I thought that the main bad guy was going to be the Riddler's Trick, but
They just need Danny DeVito for the show, and then I'll watch it.
I don't remember who was playing the Penguin, but I don't think it's
Literally need Danny DeVito. Come on.
I think he is the best Penguin, but
He looks like a good penguin. He did well.
he did do well. That one was a little bit weird though, because they gave him like prosthetic like gloves to give him like 3 fingers, and he like sexually assaults the Catwoman. So it's a little weird.
Yeah,
But it was the 90s. You know, everyone was doing it. It's fine.
and it was Danny DeVito. It was,
Yeah, it was Danny
Everyone is doing
DeVito.
it.
He made Matilda. He's a national treasure. So, yeah, I don't remember who's playing the Penguin in this. I know they said when they announced the show, but frankly, who gives a see? We'll see it when it comes out, or when the trailer drops, I guess, in
Or even
October.
better, who asked?
Who asked? There you go.
There we go. Gotta have it
They're
somehow.
you gotta make
retroactively.
these topics since there are none. You know.
Well, I only have one other bit of news. It's gaming news, and I'm sure Babby actually has something. Well, I might know more about this than I do even.
Unfortunately,
But the Battlefield 2042 game, I believe, was set to come out like next month in October. It was funny. Like, I'm pretty sure we were talking about it last week.
this happens literally every time we talk about this.
We talked about it on a podcast last week, and I was like, I'm kind of worried because I haven't seen any marketing for it. Might be like showing signs of a delay, but I don't think EA would delay a game. They delayed Battlefield,
It's good, by the way.
which is good. I don't want them to release an unfinished game. But the delay isn't for too long. They're only delaying it for until November 19th.
Oh,
So
that's
about
lucky.
a month.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
They could have had it much worse, like how I did. So Warhammer 3 or Total War Warhammer 3, they delayed until Q1 2022. It was supposed
Yeah,
to
that's
come
not
out.
even a
I
date.
think,
That's just a quarter.
Yeah,
I think it was supposed to come out. We estimated around like November, December, and yeah, not anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think EA allows games to be delayed too much.
Yeah,
I'm
I mean,
surprised they allowed
it's better or
any
worse.
delay.
but
It's usually worse.
It's
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
EA games come out unfinished, i.e., every
Yeah, so
single
this is
Star
good
Wars game.
that they're actually
Yeah.
being like, "Hey, hold up."
Yeah,
Yeah.
showing signs of progress. But the minimal time, like for a delay, in my eyes, indicates one of two things. Either the problems were so minimal that they didn't have to take a whole lot of time, or that's as much time as EA let them have. And I'm leaning towards the second
Yeah.
one.
Probably.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I guess there'll be a beta in early October, I think.
yeah, hopefully.
Well, there is a beta. I know that for sure. I just don't know exactly when it is. I think it's like last weekend of September or early October.
Okay.
So that'll give us a better understanding of why, or
Okay.
hopefully not why.
Hopefully
Hopefully
it
it's
isn't a
server
pain.
side
Yeah.
things. I would hope.
Well, I don't know. Didn't like EA get rid of a whole lot of their multiplayer support on older games? Like didn't
Yeah,
Titanfall just lose theirs or something? Or no, there was like an attack on Titanfall. That's something else.
Oh.
There was a cyber attack where like if you had the game downloaded or like and then you launched it, then they had access to all your files or something. I don't know.
Okay, that's a yikes.
strange.
I
Just
guess that's a good reason to take it down.
I don't remember if they took it down or if it was just like please don't play Titanfall 2.
Yeah, you can still play it, and your hackers are gonna be able to see all your files. But
I
Don't
gotta
do it.
play.
yeah,
I have
you
to
really
wreck
gotta
noobs.
play.
Real gamer plays through the security breaches.
That's true. I'm still
Yeah,
playing TF2.
I'll just let him see my naked rat folder, naked
Yo.
mole rat.
That's too hot.
I'll get that hacker. What's coming?
So that probably will happen to Battlefield. Everybody who plays Battlefield is going to see your naked rat folder.
Yeah, $1 billion company. They'll just let that slide
Yeah.
again on the biggest
Again.
release of the year for them.
Yeah. I don't think anything else is coming out EA side.
I don't think so.
Well, they're working on that Dead Space remake, but
Oh yeah,
I don't think that's coming out this
that's
year.
not coming out this year, though.
I don't think so. I saw a screenshot of it and it looked pretty good. They did like a side by side.
Spooky.
I think Origin was like giving away free games and they gave away the first one and I was like, this is too confusing. It kind of reminded me of like classic Doom where it's just like a labyrinth and it's like, have I been here before? Everything looks washed out and gray. I don't know what anything is. So hopefully this remaster or remake rather fixes that issue.
Hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see.
Shall see.
But that's it that I have. I'll
Yeah,
pass
I
it
have
on
gaming
over. Oh, you have gaming news.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Okay.
Call of Duty Vanguard beta.
Oh, right.
Um,
How did that go?
it's really bad.
Yeah.
I expected as much, but it's really bad.
Yeah, I saw some gameplay of it and it looked kind of rough.
Yeah. It's basically just a Modern Warfare reskin, except it runs worse, and there's only 3 good guns. The maps look really detailed and cool, but that's the only positive I got from it. And I played it for like 4 hours because I wanted to make sure I played it enough to have an opinion worth being this hard on it.
Yeah.
But it's very bad. I would rather just play Modern Warfare since that's probably like the best game out of the last 3.
Mm.
But this is just a reskin of World War II stuff over the top of that.
Yeah, that's...
Sound design is awful. There's no enemy footsteps, but you can hear your teammates' footsteps really clearly.
Oh, really?
The game chat, like through like search and destroy and stuff, you know how you usually have game chat where it's like, hey, it's like CSGO casual where you can hear everybody in the lobby at all times.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm guessing that's not intentional considering search and destroy, you would use game chat to communicate with your team.
Probably
And
not.
not with the entire lobby. There's a sunspot glitch where any map with a sun on it, it is literally blinding your character at all times. The visibility is already bad enough because there's no factions, and it's World War II, and there's no factions, so you can't tell who's a friend and an enemy because there can be freaking German soldiers on either team. So there's literally no telling on what you're shooting at.
That's good.
the movement is so incredibly clunky, and the game is so slow. It takes 5 seconds to aim in with a sniper rifle, and 2 seconds to cock it back, and then 2 more to cock it forward.
That's
It's
realistic.
Every time you jump or crouch or slide, it slows down your next movement. It's like down to a walking pace. So there's no good movement abilities like there were in Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
More
What else is
sliding
bad
too.
about it? There's destructible environments, which is cool.
That's cool.
That's always
They're,
cool.
that's the only improvement of the engine I've seen because it looks the same. Because they're using the same Modern Warfare engine, but they included like destructible environments, so you can shoot through things and there'll be like actual bullet damage to them and it'll break and stuff, which is cool.
That's
I
cool.
guess.
Yeah.
Too bad the rest is garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not going to be good.
No, well, I mean, it's made by the World War II people, and like hardly anyone like that. So
Yeah, Sledgehammer's very hit and miss, and it's the studio that Activision gives the least amount of love to. So,
oh,
and
Well,
every
no
other
wonder.
studio is working on Warzone. Then maybe Activision should like not do that and just care a little bit about what they're releasing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because literally, this is Modern Warfare without the character, or like the positives of that game, which there are a lot of positives about that game. But all maybe want to do is install Modern Warfare and play that again. It's bad. It's very bad.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's I wasn't gonna get it anyway, but definitely
No,
not
yeah.
gonna get it.
But I wanted it. I always check them out every year to see.
Yeah.
And the state of this one has been the worst state of a game in beta I've played in a very long time, or maybe ever. But when there's games out like Splitgate that also is in the arcade FPS genre and it's free,
Yeah.
and it's a lot more fun than this and a lot more fluid and optimized.
Right.
That's the other thing. Ultra graphics and lowest graphics gives the same performance. It's not a good performance. It's like I'd get like 80 FPS, and then certain maps when you get in gunfights and you aim down sight, it drops to 30, and you can't tell what's happening because I think so many objects are getting destroyed and so much is happening that the game can't handle it, which is not very good, you know.
No.
So
in a
they
game
made
that promises fast action, yeah,
gotta get a little faster there.
yeah. So I don't know what went wrong. I think everything went wrong. It's just this this overworking of Activision to have 3 studios slaving for them constantly without breaks. Every single time a game is made, there's another studio starting another one, and the process never ends. And then you allocate all your other resources to Warzone and provide no help to other studios. Kind of a really bad business plan, but Activision and Blizzard are horrible anyways.
Indeed.
So, but I guess another positive is they have like combat pacing, which will automatically like change the player count and score limit for different maps. So you avoid the Modern Warfare thing of having the cave map, which is the worst map ever made, and taking 10 minutes to finish it because it's like super large.
Yeah.
So they automatically adjust that, which is cool. But
nice.
That's it.
Do they like yearly release, or how do they often?
It's a yearly release, but there's 3 major
go.
studios, and they go on a 3-year cycle. So every studio gets 3 years to make a game, basically.
I mean, could be worse, but I mean, probably
It
still
could
the
be.
best.
You could just do a Battlefield and take your time and not release one every year.
Yeah.
Because Battlefield games are usually pretty solid, at least. Like 3 and 4 are amazing, and then they fell off a little bit, but they were also working on Battlefront at that time too. So
Heck,
Yeah,
they could
DICE
probably afford 2
was
more
split up.
studios and make
Yeah.
it better.
I don't know what DICE is doing now. I know like when they pulled support from Battlefront 2, I know a lot of like the Battlefront devs who were supposed to go over to Battlefield quit because they didn't want to. So
Yeah.
like I don't know how many. I'm sure like that's the minority. Those are just the vocal people that I had seen
and
stuff
that's what
from.
media picks up on. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I just like even followed some of them, just being like, you know, like the creative director of of Battlefront left DICE and like a bunch of like the character designers and like
I can understand that because it's a completely different genre. Even though it's the same type of game, it's like Star Wars to modern shooter is very different from a creative standpoint.
yeah. And I think like some of these people had been like they had joined to be like a part of the Star Wars thing, and then they're like,
Yeah.
"Hey, do this thing you don't care about at all." And I'm like, "No." I don't know
Yeah,
where they
that makes
went, but yeah, I think DICE is pretty much just streamlined now. I don't think they're doing anything else.
hmm
Unless they're working on a Battlefront 3, but I have not seen anything about that. And honestly, I don't think that
years.
would be really nobody really wants that except for the
Yeah,
people who
I
still
think
play
it's over.
Battlefront 2.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll see. But at least I can save $60 with COD.
Yeah, there you go.
Hopefully Battlefield turns out better, which I already know it will. Because I'm excited for that game.
Hopefully
Battlefield's just a different animal, and I don't have time anymore to like play games where that require me to get really good at them.
yeah.
So something like Battlefield is what I want right now.
Yeah, that would be fun. I want to fly or like send an ATV into a helicopter because I know that's going to happen all the time in real
Yes.
gameplay.
No, it actually does. That's the cool thing about Battlefield is that stuff actually happens.
I mean, well, I guess that was a World War One thing, and you can't really fly a,
You can't
a
really do that.
motorcycle.
But in
into a
Battlefield 3 and
plane.
4, people would take their ATVs and put C4 on them and then drive them into like tanks and helicopters and stuff. Or like ramp them off buildings and destroy helicopters with it.
Oh,
Or like get the things where you eject out of jets and kill someone in another jet and then enter that jet.
oh yeah,
that's
they
gaming.
showed that in the trailer.
Yeah, that stuff happens a lot.
That's what we like to call a battlefield moment.
That's a certified Battlefield moment. But yeah, Battlefield's fun because it's just a playground of just chaos, but it plays really well.
Yeah. No,
Unless you're
I'll
in World
check
War
it
II
out.
and World War One, because then it's just boring. But
Yeah, I don't. I think it was like Battlefield 1 was nice because that was like kind of a big switch up because at that point like both Battlefield and COD were doing like ghosts and advanced warfare, and then you got like the super tech like modern stuff in Battlefield, and like it was nice to go back to form, but also it gets kind of
don't
old.
do it again. Yeah.
It's just nice to kind of get that breath of fresh air where it's like, oh, it was kind of cool to go back to World War One, and then they did it again, and then they took a really long time to make the second one, and then the second one was like, hey, if you don't like it, don't buy it, and I was like, okay, then I won't do
Nobody
that.
bought it, and then they stopped making them.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
So
only so much you can do with
What?
World War II, because then you get the freaking history nerds that are like, this isn't accurate. But you can only literally do so much with that time period. So modern stuff is always, for me at least, a lot more engaging. It's a lot more fun.
The best part is most of the time it is historically accurate.
Exactly.
I wouldn't like mind. I think like World War One and World War Two are, well, not World War One. World War One isn't overplayed, but World War Two especially is like very overplayed in like every single medium. I feel like,
Yep.
and there's a lot to explore in World War Two. Like
Oh,
the
there's so
Holocaust
much.
is a big thing to talk about, and like how Hitler rose to power and everything. But we don't have like a, well, I guess we did just kind of get one with the Black Ops Cold War, where it's like, let us do like a Vietnam. I know like COD did that way back in the day.
Original Black Ops is classic. They did that very well.
Yeah, do it again.
But I like the 2042 shift because it's like in the future, but not so distant where everything's like lasers.
Yeah,
It's like this is tech that could come out soon.
that's
And
true.
with that, you get
Probably
like
already
wars that could happen. So it's a lot more interesting and a lot more fun from a gameplay perspective. So I'm excited for that. COD won't be bought. I'm just not even gonna worry about it. There'll be zombies for the game, but there's not a zombies map on launch to further add to the disappointment.
Wait, really?
Wow.
Treyarch's working on the zombies, but Treyarch only released 3 maps for Black Ops, and there's another one that needs to come out, and they don't have a map ready for launch for this one. So Treyarch is getting really overworked over there, it seems.
Yeah, what the frig?
It does.
Yeah,
Seem.
but that's always the best part of any COD game.
Yeah.
But that can't even
Yeah.
save this one. I doubt the campaign can even save this. So,
No.
yikes. Modern Warfare 2 in
Yikes.
2022 might be better. It probably will be. Infinity Ward seems to get the lovey-dovey treatment from Activision. They give them whatever they want. So,
Yeah. Well,
and I know a lot of people still play Modern Warfare 2019.
it just doesn't run very well. Maybe on like older consoles.
It's the mid-range PCs that it really doesn't run well on.
Really?
It's like, well, this game at least didn't like make my computer shut down and put every single task to playing the game, because that's what Modern Warfare did. It would take all of your resources to the point where I couldn't listen to Spotify because it was too much.
Yeah.
This game doesn't do that. But
It's like Google Chrome.
exactly. Yeah, but hopefully Modern Warfare 2 eventually fixes that. I would hope so, because I'm pretty sure that's confirmed what's coming next.
Probably.
It would only make sense.
Yeah.
Already confirmed. Heck yeah.
All but
Heck, a
confirmed.
cot for about a year.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
don't-
So.
I guess we got Valorant Masters happening for the past week.
Dude, you're
Guess
in
that's
that,
my
right?
Viewership's been pretty sick. I'm surprised. We've been getting like 100K to 200K constant every day. Second LAN ever, so that's pretty impressive. But I like the Riot production quality. It's so much better than Valve's. They had literally like alternate what is it called, augmented reality sets and stages. Coolest stage setup I've probably ever seen in an esports event. And I think it worked well without a crowd, because they could like literally make this whole set so it's all like thematic and stuff. When they do map selections and stuff, they literally augment reality, the maps onto the stage, and you can see the players in the background. And it does all these like weird stuff, so it's pretty sick. And when they do the finishers, like, you know, certain guns, like when you kill the last enemy, it does the finishing move.
Yeah.
Like they'll put that in the actual arena while it happens.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, Riot's always kind of on the, or like the whatever. It's some studio in Toronto that they hired to do all this, but they're like next level in their creative direction.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that's been a very positive gaming thing this week, I guess, in the FPS scene, I guess. But COD has been a massive failure. So
yeah. Yeah, I don't think I have any gaming stuff except for the delay. No other news.
Neither do I, except for that delay.
Yeah. I have been replaying The Last of Us 2, and I replayed The Last of Us 1, but I didn't talk about that. I finished that like last week. Man, I think like I really didn't appreciate how good the gameplay was in that game. It's like
first or second?
Second.
Yeah.
The first feels like a little clunky after I played the second one, which I know there's rumors of a remake. Again. I forgot who they put. Frick. I know who they are. They made Days Gone. Bend. That they were going to be making The Last of Us remake. And then the director of Days Gone was like, "Oh, you got to buy my game at $60. Otherwise we're going to be remaking The Last of Us." So, I mean, I don't know if that's going to be good.
Yeah. All I want is like a remake of it with Last of Us 2 gameplay in it.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
It doesn't need to be like from the ground up. It can just transfer the maps from The Last of Us 1 to The Last of Us 2 engine and then just make it look prettier. Like, it'd be fine. Probably. This is coming from someone who has absolutely no idea how game development works. So that's probably like really hard to do, but just get Blue Point. They aren't doing anything. Actually, I don't know what they're doing next.
Get Toys for Bob, why don't you?
Oh. Have you heard about them?
Ooh.
They're making Warzone now.
Oh, frick.
Oh, no.
I was so excited.
Yeah, make those cosmetics.
Yeah. Make a Crash Bandicoot gun.
Yeah, do it.
That's still one of the weirdest decisions. It's like, let's make the guys who remade Crash Bandicoot and Spyro and make them do weapon cosmetics in Warzone.
They realize they've made billions in Warzone. They're like, we're just gonna pull every single studio we have.
Yeah.
It's not like when Spyro Bandicoot. They don't need anything more. They're gone. We don't need them.
Well, I mean,
They don't make us the money.
I don't know what else they would remake because they already did like Crash Team Racing and like I guess they could do like the PSP and PS
You make
Vita.
Warzone.
Yeah, they could make Warzone. That's what they're doing. They could do like Sly Cooper. Like I don't know. I know that's Sucker Punch, but I don't know. Blue Point, just whatever you're doing right now, keep doing it. You're the best, and I love you.
Yes.
Except you did do really annoying button prompts in the Nathan Drake collection, and I know that those are probably the button prompts for the original Uncharted games, but they're so jarring to me whenever I play that game. It takes me right out of it. And then you play Uncharted 4, and it's very sleek, like The Last of Us 2, and it's just like, okay. Yeah. Also, Demon Souls kind of sucks. Why'd you do that thing where from the original game where if you die then it cuts your health in half? That's a stupid decision. You should have cut that. That's why the game
really
sucked.
Just the Dark Souls of Demon Souls.
Well, that game, like everybody like knew that game was like bad, the original. And so then when Blue Point was like, we're going to remake it, I was like, oh, awesome. You're going to get rid of that, right? And they're like, actually, it's going to be exactly the same as the original game. Yeah. I was like, no, fix it. It's like the original game is busted and nobody likes it.
A lot of games have aged very poorly.
Yes. Usually Blue Point does like with the Nathan Drake collection or with Shadow of the Colossus, where they fix a lot of the like game breaking, like not like bugs or glitches, just like issues that the game has, and so it's like really the definitive way to play it. So like I actively will say to people like, do not play Uncharted 2 or Uncharted 1. Like get the Nathan Drake collection. It's $20 on the PlayStation Store, and it's like the best way to play it. And you get all 3 games for $20. It's a really good deal. And then they didn't do that with Demon Souls at all. It's just like a 1-to-1 remake. So, sorry, Blue Point, putting you on blast like that.
After you said I love you, and then just absolutely tore you down.
Demon Souls looks great, but I can't get past the first boss because my health is cut in half.
Because I'm a baby and I can't play hard video games. That's what he's saying, Blue Point.
No, that's not.
He's just so bad at the game.
I'm like the best Sekiro player ever. I don't know if
I'm the best gamer ever.
I'm the best gamer. When I was playing Sonic Forces, I gave my guy the gamer hat, so you know that I'm a gamer. And I couldn't even beat.
A real gamer would play Sonic, though.
So, do we have any music news?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
I can't let a week go by where I don't just roast Sonic. Sorry.
I don't remember the last week you did roast Sonic, or at least
I do it pretty often, though.
Whenever I brought up that Idris Elba is playing Knuckles in Sonic 2.
I don't remember.
Okay, that one I liked. Everything else is trash.
I don't... The cast for that movie is surprisingly good, except it does have the human guy from Hop.
Yeah.
He fits that role. It's the same role.
He does.
But, yeah.
It is the same role.
You've seen the side by side where it's like Sonic in the car and Hop in the car and it's the same guy. Yeah, it's funny. So, anyways, music news.
Music news. Oh, frig. 1 second. Lil Nas X, that came out.
It did.
We reacted to that. Watch that. My feelings have not changed, except I do like Dead Right Now a lot more than I did in the first reaction.
Actually, we should specify that Montero came out. Lil Nas X has been out for a while.
Yes. Okay. Good point. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Man, phrasing. Okay. Lil Nas X is out as of last year, and this album is out as of Friday.
Yes.
And The Baby is also out as of Friday, which is also the album.
Right. Yes.
It's a weird timeline. Pretty pretty good mainstream pop album. I will give it that. He didn't do the stupid commercial music thing. Oh, Post Malone. Yeah. So
Yeah. I also like it. For the most part, I do not like Dead right now, and I'm not too crazy about That's What I Want. But
you're
I
still
have,
tripping on That's What I Want.
yeah, whatever. I've been listening to it not like super consistently because I don't know. I've just been listening to tracks. It's kind of
It's good playlist music.
it is. It isn't like a To Pimp the Butterfly or like anything else where it's like you have to listen to it in order. Well, I guess you don't have to, but there's a
You should.
story.
It's so
There's
stupid if you don't.
yeah. There's not a story to like Montero, or you can like pick and choose tracks. It's like an orange. Huh?
That is the okay. All right.
It's like an
Yeah.
orange.
Yep. I heard you the first time.
It's like a nonfiction book.
What's
Yep.
it like again?
It's an orange, and then
There you
like
go.
To Pimp a Butterfly is like an apple. And
Yes,
you have to
indeed.
start on the outside and work your way in. But an
I
orange,
agree.
you can choose any slice you want. See,
I suppose that works.
the
I
metaphor
guess. That's just really
holds.
weird. That's really weird. But yes,
It's a good album.
it's a good album.
There's
Suffice it to say.
There's potential. I do not think that this is his magnum opus. I think there is still more room to grow. I think he is a talented vocalist. I think he misuses his voice in some parts. But most of overall, production's pretty G dang good. And Void and Am I Dreaming are like wowie wow wow wow. Those are the I can't even remember. There was we just listened to this album last week. Freaking Casey Musgraves. Camera roll and hookup scene for me. So there you go.
Don't Want It's really good, by the way.
Don't
Yeah.
want it.
That one grew big time.
I don't remember that one, but it's
It's
probably
like the
good.
rock one that's like 2 minutes long with like the little skit in the middle.
Oh, yeah, no, I do like that one. I think lyrically he was pretty good too.
Yes.
Showing
Much
some
better than I
interesting
expected for a
themes.
mainstream pop artist.
Yeah.
But good playlist music, very accessible. It bops. I like it. Very good. Cop in the freaking robe. Just kidding. That'd be weird. What else we got? So we had the most accessible album of the entire year, and then the least accessible album of the entire year in the same week.
Oh.
So I've had a very tough time. Injury Reserve by the time I get to Phoenix. Highly anticipated from me since they freaking announced it in August. This is the least accessible album I have listened to all year, besides that Lingua Ignota freaking weird. Yeah, that album. That's probably harder to listen to than this, but I don't listen to that one very often, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
But this one though is it's really good, but I don't know how to explain why it's good.
Okay.
So I'm at a loss for words on how to even describe what the music is. They sample Black MIDI and Black Country New Road. So it's like a post-punk, abstract, experimental, post-hip-hop album. If you even want to consider it a hip-hop album, because there's not a lot of, like, the song structures of hip-hop are not here. The song structures of any genre are not here. It feels like a freaking fever dream, but it's nuts. They're self-titled in 2019, is still considered experimental hip-hop, but that sounds like Drake compared to what this does.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is incredibly challenging, but I really like it in ways I can't describe. It's a very down and depressing album about loss. They had one of their 3 members pass away last year, so that's obviously a very poignant topic in the album. He is on scattered songs because I think it was like somewhat done before he passed. So he is kind of here and there, all over the place. But overall, it's like weird like collages of abstract sound. There's weird guitars that are sometimes in pitch, not in pitch. They put vocal layering on top of their vocals, use different filters and high pass filters and all that crap. Um, like it's very slow and methodical. Superman that is a banger. Um, does like a Black Country New Road sample and makes like the weirdest like energetic song I've ever heard. Uh, there's a freaking song where they talk about 5G towers. It's pretty cool. Um, the whole thing is just like a gigantic. It feels like a Black Midi album, and just by how chaotic and like off the wall it is, but it's also a hip hop album. It's crazy. Uh, I don't know what to say about it. It's like the hardest album I've had to listen to in a long time. Um, I think it's just hard because I don't know how to describe the things I like about it because it is so different from literally anything else ever made. It's like kind of like listening to Veteran JPEG Mafia the first time and not knowing what's happening, except this is even more off the wall and abstract. That one at least has like consistent verses and stuff, and you can kind of grip what the song structure is. This one you can't. Verses will just be cut off halfway through. There'll be weird vocal sounds and snippets in, but not actual verses. Just weird thing where he like raps like he's out of breath on the first song, so you constantly hear like this breathing as he's like trying to get this verse out and can't. And it's like frustrating, but then the end of the song brings in like a whole bunch of beautiful instruments and crap, and it's like a good payoff. Yeah, it's all over the place. Some of the moments get incredibly depressing, and some of the best verses of the year, treating like loss as like a like when the person is no longer there. This happens a lot in like um, albums about loss. Carrie and Lowell specifically, uh, where he'll touch like themes of this person's supposed to be here and then they're not here, and then this is this feeling, and Sufjan captures that the best anyone else has captured that ever, I think. But they do it differently here, where they relate it to like an algorithm and like a pattern, or it's like the algorithm and pattern still moves, so they relate it to like technology. So it's really incredible. But I need more time with it, and it's been out since Wednesday, and I still can't process any of it basically.
Oh.
It's an abstract modern art painting that moves, and I can't put anything on it. It's incredibly hard to pin down anything, but those ones are usually the most rewarding. So, and I like the music quite a bit. I'm just trying to get a grasp on it. So it's in limbo right now, but I definitely see the genius in it. I just can't process it currently, which does not happen often.
No.
But yeah, weirdest album release of the year, but one of the best. I don't know where I'm putting it because I still can't comprehend it.
Probably in slot 60.
60. Yeah. Baby Keem's album grew on me more. Loving that thing. Not accessible, but hard. It's just great. Love it. Range Brothers is a jam. What else we got? Mac Miller.
Uh-oh.
His family has just don't
Okay.
Mac Miller's family is the only people handling posthumous release as well.
Okay.
They're doing it with such care, and they should be very proud of the way they're releasing music. This is actually his Faces mixtape coming to streaming services in October.
Oh, okay.
I put this in my 27 and a half video, I think, somewhere in there. One of my favorite mixtapes ever, if not my favorites. So they're kind of releasing it on streaming. All samples are cleared. Everything is going to be exactly how it was, which is a miracle. That never happens. I know, like, when Chance the Rapper did his mixtapes on Spotify, he had to, like, cut whole songs because they couldn't get sample clearances.
Oh.
But somehow, magically, they got everything cleared. But they released Colors and Shapes as a single. One of the best songs off that project, and really haunting and depressing in the new context of him not being here anymore. But
Mhm.
they also released a music video with it, which is the best music video of the year besides Montero. Um, those are really weird to relate to, but
Yeah.
I love the Faces album cover, and whoever the art director for that video was took every single element of like the weird, like abstract, flowing shapes and stuff, and put it into a music video form. Um, it looks like one of those books that used to be in the libraries where it's like, I don't know what the books are called, but they're just like pages full of like so much like wooden objects and toys and stuff. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Are those the I Spy books?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the really advanced ones.
Mm-hmm.
I remember.
Yeah. So the music video kind of looks like that, but it's like all CGI and very pretty, and they use Mac Miller's dog growing up as the main character of the video in place of him. I'm like, you can't do this to me on a Wednesday. And this song is like hits hard for people that know it. Thundercat bass line, very, very kind of circles ish. Before like long before that album came out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, best music video I've seen in a long time. I'm excited for people that haven't listened to this to give it a listen, because this album is amazing. Probably his magnum opus, if I were to be frank.
Even better than
Even though
Swimming.
and Circles exist, I would rate them very close.
Okay.
Swimming is more cohesive, but Faces is him at the peak of his drug addiction, and everything. So it's like spiraling, like out of control, chaotic, but some of the best material on it. So the new fans are in for a treat, and the old fans are too, because we get an official vinyl release
Oh,
for the first time ever.
There you go.
It's $60 though, so I don't have this money to spend on it right now.
Frick.
Yeah, but that'll be in record stores, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Circles did, and they did that Swimming in Circles box set, so I'm sure they'll put it out there. If not,
Hopefully.
I'm a fool and I'm gonna have to pay resale for it, which is not fun.
Oh,
But
what
I'm
are
gonna
you,
need that.
poor?
Yeah. I mean, it's a 3 LP. There's like 20, 21 songs.
Oh, really?
It's a big boy.
Oh.
But very exciting for that. I like that they're releasing this mixtape as opposed to doing demos and stuff. They are very cautious. They've already shut down multiple documentaries and even movies that hinted at using his likeness. So
Yeah, don't do
they're
that.
fighting a good fight.
Yeah.
What else I got? I guess I can give out shout out to Prem Rock, which is a backwoods hip hop signee, same logo or label as Armand Hammer and all them. This man currently has 720 monthly Spotify, which is awful. But his new album, Load Bearing Crow's Feet, is pretty sick. A lot of the same themes as Armand Hammer, or not themes, but style, I would say. New York Underground is just built different. Everything's quality.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if the dude's got 700 listeners or 700,000. Like, the quality is consistent. But their underground label there is just continuing to just be great in quality.
Yeah.
Armand Hammer also had a feature on an Open Mike Eagle song this week, Burner Account, and Quelle Chris is on production, which is also really good. There are rumors of Open Mike Eagle and Armand Hammer doing a collab album, which would be something else. Open Mike Eagle is really cool. He does voice acting, podcasting, musician, rapping. He's in Adventure Time. It's pretty cool.
What? Does he play Lemonhead?
Nah. I don't know. I don't remember who he was. He's got credits though.
Okay.
He does voice acting and stuff like that. He's a pretty cool dude.
Good.
So if that ever happens in an album form, that's gonna be crazy. But I guess I can do a concert review. I guess.
Oh yeah.
Since I did go to Phoebe Bridgers last Sunday.
You did do
It was
that.
outside. It was raining. It's great. She had two openers, which one was a local band, Slow Pulp, I think is the name, more of a rock band. They did pretty well, actually. They're from the area, so it was kind of a local gig, which was nice. They only played for like a half an hour, so I was just standing in the merch lane watching, but
Yeah.
Sounded pretty good. And they had Muna as like the main opener. They're like I don't know what that pop rock, I would say. Pop
Okay.
rock, and they include some like keyboards and synths and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But suffice it to say, the two openers were a lot more loud and energetic than her set was. Obviously,
Yeah.
very different vibes, but did well. It was cool to watch from the merch line that I stood in for an hour. So
Did you get
nice.
a funny hat?
I just got a hoodie.
Oh.
Not bad.
Yeah. Longest merch line I've ever been in, though. That was nuts.
Yeah, that
Like,
doesn't surprise me.
It was in a soccer field, and one of the merch opened at like an end zone, and the line went all the way across the half, like the freaking middle of the soccer field.
Oh, man.
So it was like over 60 yards long or something. So waited 45 minutes to get into the doors, and then immediately went into a merch line for another hour. But we chilling.
Yeah. It's worth it.
It's all worth it.
Mm-hmm.
But her set was pretty dang good. She basically just played the entirety of Punisher in order, but mixed in Stranger in the Alps tracks
Okay.
in between, were like the big hits from those, I guess.
Yeah.
Had a little bit of sound issues in the beginning, so Garden Song didn't come out as well as I wanted it to, but that's fine because she made up for it in the second half. Like the sound was pretty good in the last half. She does really good with the slower songs and the more airy kind of songs. The title track came across amazing. Everybody in the band did backing vocals, so it was very, very dreamy. Better than the studio version for sure. It started raining halfway through as soon as we got to like the depressing songs, so that was perfect. Thank you, weather.
Thanks, Jesus.
Yeah. Freaking, you start Moon Song and then it starts raining out. That's planned right there.
It's like Prince.
Yeah, it's basically Prince.
Mm-hmm.
But Savior Complex was amazing. I was waiting for that since I bought tickets to see just like the back half of that song live, and it was glorious. She did a Me and My Dog solo slow version from Boy Genius. Best song of the night for sure. That was magical. Probably the most magical thing I've ever seen in concert. The band went off stage. It was just her and acoustic guitar. The spotlight came down. It stopped raining. Everybody stopped talking. It was completely silent. And she performed the song, and it was like time stopped. And it was the best thing I've ever seen in concert ever. It was amazing. That song, one of my favorites off the Boy Genius album. But
I think
the way she performed it was like magical.
Man,
best thing I've ever seen. Actually, like ever since Savior Complex, and then she did Me and My Dog, and then she finished the album. Like the concert was pretty good up until that point, but as soon as that hit, it was like amazing all the way through. It's like time stopped, and it was like the only thing that mattered was that stage for like the next 45 minutes.
That's cool.
And it was insane. I think Scott Street she did live as well, which is another like my favorite probably off of Stranger in the Alps besides Smoke Signals. And everybody did the phone flashlight thing. We were all outside, so it was like starry and stuff. That was pretty magical too. But I know the end. I think everybody was kind of waiting for that one, that explosion, and everybody, the entire audience, just screaming at the point where the screaming comes in on that sound, on that song. They did smoke machines and lighting to make it look like the stage got set on fire, and then they did like the freaking when the camera gets broke on TV and you get the sound. They went off to that. She did the destroying guitar thing on SNL when she did that song. She kind of did the same thing, but she just threw it on the ground, and then the reverb of the guitar went for another 2 minutes as they went off. And then she comes back and does the cover of Bo Burnham's Funny Feeling. Incredible.
Yeah.
That song was literally made for her. I don't care. Like, that sounds like she could have written that. But she came back out, did that. They did an extended version of it, and they added the band. And they added like a theremin and stuff to it.
Oh.
It was great. But
there
are high quality versions of that on YouTube.
Yeah, I'll have to watch that.
That I recommend. But
did she bump up the vocals? Because that song is too low for me.
yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
would
I mean,
assume
she
so.
sings pretty quiet, anyways. But I feel like in the concert, there was a lot of sound stuff that they had to fix. It was like 45 minutes between Muna and her because Muna's very loud and she's very quiet.
Yeah.
They had to like change all of the levels on everything. So,
Ugh.
but her vocals were definitely enhanced.
Yeah.
But yeah, ever since Moon Song started, to that back half of the show was just flawless. That was my emotional therapy for the next year. So
Oh, well, there you go.
I'll pay $50 for a therapy session and a rainy soccer field.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
How did Babjab
so
like
very good. He liked it. It was pretty sick.
it? Mm-hmm.
I was gonna go up front, and then he's like, "I want to sit down." So I'm like, "Okay,
Okay.
sit in the grass." Which I don't blame him because we stood for like an hour and a half getting in, and then standing in the merch line.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets a little crazy once you get up there, which
Yeah.
I'm down with. But I don't really need to be in the crowd for a Phoebe Bridgers concert. Kind of just chill for these.
Yeah.
And it's not a very theatrical thing. It's just kind of like a classic stage concert. That's all it needs to be. The music speaks for itself.
Yeah.
But we will be seeing The Weeknd in January, so we'll probably do a review of that.
Yes.
Very excited for that After Hours tour.
Oh, I was gonna ask. So that's specifically an after hours tour.
Yeah,
Okay.
at least that's what it seemed like. Unless the Dawn comes out before then, which I don't know if it will or not. I don't know if he's planning to release that album this year or next year.
I don't know.
But I'm sure he will get some songs played from that during it. But
Yeah.
After Hours is like my favorite in terms of like that's a perfect like synth pop album. But
I think so.
the whole persona that he put on and all the music videos and appearances were awesome. So seeing that live is gonna be pretty sick. I'm sure he's gonna pull out all the thematics and stuff.
Yeah, that'll be cool. I'm excited for that.
And he's a great performer.
Well,
So,
yeah. I'm just excited to hear him sing live.
Exactly.
I think he's probably. I don't think this is a hot take. I think he's one of the best vocalists right now.
Oh, for sure.
He is crazy good. I don't know how he pulls off some of the things he does. And when I attempt to, I just fall flat on my face like a stupid idiot. So, yeah. I'm very excited for that.
Phoebe sounded the exact same as studio, which was good. I'm always a little worried about, especially like most vocal-led performances live, because it's, you never know how much compression and editing is used in studio versions.
True.
But
yeah,
it sounded perfect, and I think The Weeknd will sound perfect as well. But then we have Tyler in February, which we already know what that tour is going to look like. Tyler does the Kanye thing where he goes all out in stage design and stuff, so that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, that's going to be fun too.
But got some hard hitters early next year.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty sick. Release dates, we have Sufjan next week.
Oh yeah.
We also have West Side Gun's Taylor Wears Hermes 8th B-side, or the second half of the double album. I don't want to say B-side. That technically is. He delayed it because he wanted to get some features on it, and then he released a feature list, and he got Jay Electronica, Tyler the Creator, 2 Chainz, and then the whole cast that he usually has.
Oh.
So
okay.
we'll see. I feel like that album's going to be extremely bloated once you combine A and B, since the first one is like 48 minutes, and this one has double the features.
Oh, maybe.
But he gets quality, so I don't care. I don't listen to his album straight through anyways. You can only take so much of boom, 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 especially if it's going to be like an hour and a half of it.
Yeah.
But there's more release dates, but I don't have any memorized.
Okay.
Kendrick could drop at any moment. He could start the rollout tomorrow.
That's true.
For all we know.
Honestly, he might. Because just on how timing usually works for the podcast,
True.
We're probably going to get a single drop tomorrow.
Into existence now. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we know he submitted 30 songs for copyright clearance, so he is ready.
He's ready.
It is happening, folks. I just don't know when it's happening.
It's happening.
Probably tomorrow.
Frank Ocean is also apparently shopping an album to record labels.
Oh.
So that could also be happening.
So the Shrek baby wasn't just a one-off thing.
Yes. I think it was a Met Gala thing. I hope. That thing terrifies me.
I think he should take that thing on tour.
That could be fun.
That would be very fun to see.
Well, Nas X is just pregnant on tour, and then he just has the green baby for his tour.
Yeah.
That could be interesting. But yeah, I won't believe Frank Ocean releases music until I'm listening to the album for the third time.
Yeah.
Kendrick, I've had enough time to settle in where I'm like, okay, this is real and this is happening. And you were on 3 songs.
Yeah, he was just on Baby King.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm ready. I feel like this month has been exhausting. So
Yeah.
Sufjan, we can just relax with next week. So
Yeah, that'll be nice. A nice little
ready.
break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all music and everything I have, I think.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, before we close her out, I thought that I might do some very short film reviews.
Ooh.
I have been kind of going hard in the paint over the past week and a half. I've seen 5 movies because I don't know, I hate myself and I need to not think about that. So I'm just going to watch movies. And I picked the worst ones except for this last one that I watched tonight. But I watched Eraserhead, Harold and Maude. I did Boys in the Hood, The Maltese Falcon, and then The Aquatic Life of Steve Zissou. And only one of those is especially happy. Well, not happy, but just makes you feel good, and that's the Aquatic Life of Steve Zissou. I highly recommend everyone watch that movie. If you like Wes Anderson stuff, that might be one of his best ones. And I've only seen 2 of his movies, but I liked it more than the Grand Budapest Hotel, I think, and that's a hot take.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. But I mean, it's got all of the Wes Anderson staples. You got Bill Murray, you got Jeff Goldblum, you got Owen Wilson, and so like right there, that's a killer cast. And I don't know if there's any like huge other people that are in it. Oh, Willem Dafoe. He's also a Wes Anderson veteran. He was also in Grand Budapest Hotel. I think all the people I listed were in Grand Budapest Hotel. But yeah, it's really good. It's about like a kind of washed up documentary filmmaker who like everyone's kind of lost like favor for. He's like running out of money, and then Owen Wilson shows up and he's like, "I'm your son from when you slept with my mom, like just on a whim. Can I?" And then he's like, "Okay, join my crew." And so then they go on this boat expedition to hunt a shark, and it's pretty fun. It's a good movie. Very pretty. That is a Wes Anderson staple, and he really likes the wide lenses, so everything's like fisheye.
Wide lens and color graded.
Yeah, that's his thing. But I was telling Babby before we recorded the show, he uses a lot of stop motion animation with like, it's the Life Aquatic, so they go into ocean, and a lot of the fish and a lot of the other miscellaneous kind of creatures, they use stop motion things, which is a Wes Anderson staple in the animated field with both Fantastic Mr. Fox and Isle of Dogs, both of those being stop motion. So I think this, I don't know if this came out before, I think it probably came out before Fantastic Mr. Fox, because Fantastic Mr. Fox came out in 2009. Bill Murray doesn't look that old yet. So, yeah. But it's pretty dang good. I'm going to be pretty brief on the other 2, just because I don't have a whole lot to say. I think all of these movies have been in the Criterion Collection. I feel like I should probably see a number of those, even though they're all artsy movies. But I watched Harold and Maude. This one I have heard people talk about. It's kind of like a classic. I think it might be like the template for like stuff like Up or Hunt for the Wilder People, or even something like The Last of Us. But it's like the reverse of that, where the old lady, it's an old lady, Maude, is like kind of the quirky, eccentric one, and then the more serious, like grumpy old man is the young boy named Harold. And Harold always kills himself. That's not a joke. The opening scene is him hanging himself, and then his mom walks in, and she's like, "Oh, you're being ridiculous. I assume you're doing this to get a rise out of me." And he's like, dying.
Relatable.
It's very funny. He likes to kill himself a lot. There's a lot of scenes of that, and it's funny. But and then he just the way he spends his time is he goes to funerals and just random people's funerals, and that's where he meets Maud, who also likes going to funerals. I don't really know if it's ever explained why. This movie was honestly a little bit boring, but I was a little bit excited because the opening scene starts out with a Cat Stevens song, and I do enjoy a Cat Stevens song every now and then. Just one or two. I don't think I've ever listened to a single Cat Stevens album, but
Cat Stevens is best heard in short doses.
yeah, I think he's like, he's in that like James Taylor. He does a lot of finger pick guitar, kind of like Jim Croce, but I think his best stuff is his more somber stuff. And he also kind of gets a little bit spiritual hippy dippy, which I don't really like. But he did the whole soundtrack to this movie. And I'm like, oh, that's fun. They pulled a Phil Collins Tarzan like in '71. That was fun. That was nice. Although I think
Tarzan
a lot of
soundtrack's a masterpiece. So.
Oh yeah, I fully agree.
Yes.
If I ever saw that on vinyl, if it's like $60, I might buy
It's
it.
a cop.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It was not my thing, Harold and Maude, but it was a serious improvement over the first movie I saw, which was Eraserhead. I think I brought this up last week on the podcast, saying that I rented it, or I checked it out at the library, because me and Babby, we started Invader Zim, but we'll wait for next week to do that. We'll finish it up this week. But after that, I think most definitely. We only have like 10 episodes, or
Oh yeah, I suppose we do only have.
Yeah, it'll only be like a couple
like
days.
5 days, we should be good.
Yeah. But after that, we're doing Twin Peaks. So I was like, hey, let me check out David Lynch's other stuff. I know he's a weirdo dude, and I know that Eraserhead is a classic. I think it's his most famous movie. But oh man, I had no idea what I was getting into. I think like Twin Peaks is pretty straightforward, which if anyone who has seen Twin Peaks is probably like bashing their screen in as I'm saying that. But compared to Eraserhead, Twin Peaks is very straightforward, because Eraserhead is one of the most like avant-garde artsy movies I've ever seen. And I had seen like a number of like Scorsese's movies, or not Scorsese. Why can't I think of the guy's name? The guy who did The Shining, Kubrick, not Scorsese. Stanley Kubrick. He does a lot of artsy stuff. Like I've seen like 2001 and Clockwork Orange and Shining, and I think that might be it. I haven't seen Full Metal Jacket. But yeah, a lot of his stuff gets a little bit too artsy for me. Like Clockwork Orange is not my favorite. I think my favorite one out of the bunch is The Shining, because it's the least artsy one out of that list of three.
Still pretty artsy.
It's still pretty artsy, but not as artsy as 2001: A Space Odyssey or A Clockwork Orange. Also the one that has the least amount of rape.
True.
That's always a plus.
That is kind of a Stanley staple. So.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I guess, well, I don't know. Maybe The Shining has some questionable scenes in it. But man, all of those do not hold a candle to Eraserhead. I guess like the whole premise is there's this guy who has really big hair. They never explain why he has big hair, but he has big hair. and he has like a girlfriend. It isn't really explained, but he like gets home from work, and then like his next door neighbor is like seductively opens her door and like eyes him up, and she's like, "You gotta call. Your girlfriend wants to have dinner with you at her house." And he's like, "Okay." And he goes to his girlfriend's house.
Okay.
And his girlfriend like starts yelling at him, and then he's like, "You never come around to my house anymore." And then his mom's just like, "Yo." And it's like a really awkward like dinner. I don't even know how to explain it. This whole thing is in black and white. And then like they have dinner, and it's just a bunch of uncooked chicken in like a pot. And then the dad is like, "Hey, big hair guy, why don't you cut the meat?" And he's like, "Okay." And then he like pokes it with a fork, and then like a bunch of like blood starts pouring out of this uncooked chicken. And then the mom starts like grunting and like making a whole lot of like visceral noises. And then his girlfriend starts crying and runs to a corner. And then big hair guy just like looks around confused, like, is this supposed to happen? And then his dad's just like, "Oh, this is nice. This is a good dinner meal. I can't wait to have this uncooked chicken." But that is a staple throughout the movie. Just like randomly, people will start making noises. Uh, it's the most like dystopian like thing I've ever seen. Where it's like, I don't know if this is supposed to be like a future society where like everything is like super run down or anything. But I think the crux of the movie, that's like the first like, I don't know, like 15 minutes. There's a lot of footage of nothing, which is to be expected in an art film, especially a David Lynch art film, because he's a painter, and he was before he made this. The crux of it is that the mom is like, "Hey, big hair guy, have you had sexual intercourse with my daughter?" And he was like, "That is an inappropriate question to ask me when I just met you for the first time." And she's like, "I don't care. My daughter gave birth to a fetus." And then he's like, "Okay, I will raise the fetus." But it's not a fetus. It's like a dinosaur. It's so weird. Like, it's like they wrap it up, and then they like leave it on a dresser, and it stays there for like pretty much the whole movie. And uh it just like cries the whole movie. Oh, and I forgot to mention the sound design. Oh, that's the worst part. The whole time there's just like Bab, you remember the Velvet Underground, where there was that frequency that was playing the entire time?
Of course.
That happens in
Never forget.
Eraserhead.
Nice.
It's just there's always like some sort of like rumbling or like a hissing noise. And it's so loud. It's like the loudest movie I've ever heard, where there's like no dialogue, but there's just noise all the time. I hated it. And yeah, Eraserhead is really weird. And it isn't really explained why it's called Eraserhead. And honestly, I still don't really get why it's called Eraserhead. I guess the whole reason it's called that is because there's a dream sequence. There's a lot of dream sequences where there's like a girl with like really chubby cheeks. It looks like someone from his paintings. His like the people in David Lynch's paintings have like weird body proportions. So I think that's what they were doing at this. But she had like really big cheeks, and like she'd like sing a song. But one of the dream sequences, she like starts singing, and then like a bunch of fetuses start falling from the ceiling, and then his head explodes and falls off. And then uh, you know, it like cuts to a completely different scene where it's like a homeless guy is just like sitting on the corner, and then the guy's head like falls down from the sky in front of him, and then a little boy like runs up and takes it over to this building where this guy takes his head and turns it into erasers for pencils. And then they pay the boy money so that they can make erasers for pencils out of this guy's head.
Yeah, that's how you make a living. That kid knows what's up.
Yeah, he knows. And then it cuts back, and then it's like the dinosaur baby is crying again.
Oh,
And it's just like,
course.
yeah, I was like, oh, it's only an hour and a half. This will be so easy. And it was, that might be,
Give it a warning sign.
yeah. I was gonna watch some more David Lynch movies before we watch Twin Peaks. Like, I know Mulholland Drive is one. I don't know of any of his older stuff. I think Mulholland Drive came out in like the 90s. which is when Twin Peaks came out, or the first part of Twin Peaks, because the second part came out in 2017, I think. So I'm not doing that. I was like, I'm gonna do something a little bit lighter because I can't handle this right now. So yeah, watch The Aquatic Life of
You're a
Steve
film
Zissou.
student without being an art kid.
No, I do not like artsy stuff. Really,
Yeah,
period.
I feel like I would enjoy that.
You might. Like, I was thinking about that like the whole time. I'm like, oh, Bambi might like this.
Artistic abstraction is one of my favorite things.
Yeah, you might. You might like really like.
What?
I think you're really gonna like Twin Peaks.
I probably will.
I'm excited.
I get into all that crap.
It's like, I think I've seen the first season, and I think it really strikes a good balance of being weird David Lynch artsy stuff and like actually telling a story, which is what I like.
Yeah.
So I think this will be a good balance. Although I've heard it gets convoluted, but that is to be expected from
Whatever.
a David Lynch project.
Exactly. I just like how weird things can get in storytelling, buried underneath weirdness and symbolism, and he's a painter, so he knows all of this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think for
Having
like a really
former knowledge and education in it, it's nerdy.
yeah, and that's what he does.
Yeah.
I know for like a long time. I think this was while quarantine was happening. He does a lot of like weird side things. I think he had like a YouTube channel where he like talked about the weather and like people broke it down and there was like like a whole like underlying story thing. It was like, what the frick? He's just talking about it, whether or not it's raining in his like in
Yeah.
his air. It was
That's where it goes a little too far. You get that with like freaking Kanye and stuff too.
yeah.
People have to break down literally everything.
Well, I mean, for David Lynch, that he is doing that, and he just naturally he's like so weird. I don't know how to describe him. It's just like
It's one of those
him.
Picasso type guys where his presence is also an art piece.
Yeah, that's
Where
true.
it's like he's always in art mode and he's always doing something that's not like what normal people would do.
Mm-hmm. Now, yeah, he's just always like kind of grotesque. So I don't know if there's anything like that. I don't remember. But he's famous. Every single movie, I believe they called it a goose eye moment. I don't know what movie that's referencing. I thought it was Eraserhead, and I was like, ooh, I'm going to see the goose eye, because it's named after... there's always a point in a David Lynch project where like it'll be somewhat like quote-unquote normal up into this point, where like it'll be like following a general like theme, and then it's named after the moment in some movie, I guess I don't know what it is, where there's like a goose eye on the ground and it like moves around like really weirdly, and then it cuts to like a goose's head on a platter with like its eye like ripped out, and then like the whole movie shifts after that. And so there is a moment like that in Eraserhead where I don't want to spoil it, because if you do want to check it out, it's short and it's might be up your alley. But there is a moment like that in Eraserhead, but it's like his staple, where like things will just go off the rails in a really weird and grotesque way. So that will probably happen in Twin Peaks. I don't know. I haven't gotten that far. It's usually towards the end. So it's like Hitchcock. He did weird stuff like that too.
Yeah.
So that's my film review. I don't know what I'm going to check out next. I usually just go to the library and then see what they have, and if anything jumps out at me, I might pick it up. I might see La La Land. I don't know. I've been wanting to see that one for a while, and then every time I'm like, ooh, The Aquatic Life of Steve Zissou, I'll get that one. So, I don't know. I'm also thinking of going on a Wes Anderson kick, because I've only seen those two movies. And I want to see The French Dispatch when that comes out this year?
Soon, DM. I don't know.
Soon. I know. I think he has like 2 movies in production right now. Yeah, The French Dispatch is coming out. Oh, frick. I'm on the way. October 22nd. Yo!
Whoa.
Yo.
That one has Timothée Chalamet on it, and I'm going to nut in the
Let's
theater because
go.
I love him so much.
I need to see him on the big screen.
Oh, snap. Oh, I was about to say Owen Wilson's not in this movie. He is in this movie. Of course he is. But where's Willem Dafoe? Bill Murray. Where's Jeff Goldblum? Is Jeff Goldblum not in this? Frick. This is going to be the worst one yet. So. Do you think they're going to make Cars 3?